What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we are talking about Young Avengers and why you should not be panicking or rushing to gear these characters up. They said in the strike time that they're going to be a top tier war team. They're going to be a very strong war defense team. But the concern is, for me at least, is that what else are we getting this patch? Because we know there's a second team, supposedly, at least there's a silhouette of two other characters, and we think it's going to be a Midnight Suns team. We don't know just yet what it's going to be, but if it's a counter to this team, the question then becomes, like, should you, like, if it's a team that's going to counter Young Avengers, like, what was the point of gearing up Young Avengers? So we're going to talk about that all in today's video. Talk about the Young Avengers, kind of like their kind of solo, their standalone stats and how they work on their own. But if you guys do enjoy this video, you do find it informative, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. So, Young Avengers, they look pretty good. Like, Kate Bishop, on her own, she's a tech character, and there's a lot of speculation that she is going to be a good tech raid character because of things here, like where she's flipping negative or positive effects into negative effects. She's putting blind on the enemy with the highest damage. She's got some nice potential with her kit here, with what she can do here. But the one thing to be careful of is that her health is very, very low. This is T'Challa Star-Lord levels of health. So do not expect her to be able to take hits. Like at 2.3, T'Challa struggles. Expect the same with Kate Bishop. She'll probably do okay at lower difficulty levels with her kit here, but with that low health, with that fragility that you have there, do not expect her to go nuts. And she's not going to have a Young Avengers team around her inside the tech raid to be helping. So she can put blind, she can help reduce speed bar. She doesn't reduce speed bar, but she does fill her own speed bar. And she can apply, she gets bonus crit chance, she has piercing damage. So she's got decent damage, but that health, like, all Silver Surfer has to do is sneeze on her at like 2.2 and 2.3, and she's going to struggle big time. T'Challa also gains speed bar as you defeat enemies in the raid, so he's moving more often, he's stacking that evade. He does have ways of getting around that, plus also he can clear negative effects off himself. So if you get heal block or ability block on him, he just clears them off right away on his turn. It's not a big deal. So this is one where I think she'll be okay in the tech raid at lower difficulties, but I do not expect her to be great at higher difficulties. I don't think this is going to be the answer. I hope I'm wrong with that. We will be doing testing on the playtest server for this, but as a standalone character, she's very much tied. Like, she's got some good stuff here, but then, like, her ultimate really helps with, there's some nice war defense bonuses there. Giving the ability energy to self and Young Avenger allies is for war defense only. But, you know, also this, on the death of a Young Avenger, when a Young Avenger ally drops below 50% health, attacking a random ally and applying blind and slow, that's only for other Young Avenger allies. It does not say self. So this will not, like, again, this is not something like if she falls low on health, she won't apply the blind and slow. At least that's the way it reads here. When we do testing, we'll find that out. This character drops below 50% health, gain 2 evade. She does gain evade there, but the question is, with that kind of low health, is that going to be enough? Because she could probably get one shot from someone, and at that point, the evasion's not going to do too well. So she's got some good standalone abilities, but I'm not quite sure how good she's going to be in the tech raid. We'll see how that works out in the end. America Chavez is next, and this is probably the most deadly character we have for Young Avengers in this rework, just on standalone potential, because of this right here with this war defense. This is extremely overpowered, and when I read this at first, I thought it was just fill speed bar for Young Avenger allies by 25%. No, she fills the speed bar for any adjacent ally on war defense by 25%. You throw this in with Eternals and Loki, you have a supercharged Cersei. You get 40%, or sorry, you get 35% speed bar on Cersei. She and Icarus go, they reduce the enemy speed bar by 50%. You almost have a 100% speed bar difference between Cersei and Icarus and the enemy team because of their abilities and because of this speed bar boost. This one's gonna be crazy, and we'll see how this tests out. I was a little concerned. I voiced my concerns about this in the Envoy chat because Scopely has made it clear they're worried about the speed meta, and then they go and drop a character like this that boosts speed bar by 25% on war defense. So I don't know. Like, all of our counters that we had for Eternals are gonna go out the window because of this. This is going to be a big pain. Eternals teams on defense are going to be an absolute nightmare now, because now you can no longer, if you can't use Emma, you can't use Cable and Loki and hope that's enough, because all they need is Loki and America Chavez on that enemy team, and that's it. You're now looking at a 2 to 3 tap on that Eternals team before you can finally get it taken down. So I'm not excited for this. If this is intentional, then America Chavez is probably going to be my most important character that I gear up for this team, because this war defense bonus is just going to be absolutely nuts, and this is going to work on any war defense team. So we'll see how this works out in the long run. Yeah, nothing else to say there at this point besides that I'm really, really concerned about that. Ms. Marvel, she's going to be pretty much war defense. There's really no place for her. She doesn't have an entente with outside of this team, so you know there's no real reason to use her just yet. I mean, she does have the taunt when an ally falls below 50% health, but a lot of her stuff is tied to Young Avengers and tied to war defense, like all these max health and armor bonuses for war defense. Her special now gives her taunt, now gives her a little bit more healing, but you know, but gives her taunt on war defense. She's very much tied to the Young Avengers and the war defense team, and that's the other thing too, is there's really no point in rushing to gear up this character, because like if you're not going to worry about war defense, if you're not worried about war, that's the thing, is like this character is really not one you're going to really worry about, because yeah, there's no real point in having her outside of there. And then we get to Squirrel Girl, the joke character. Yeah, pretty much all her buffs are really for Young Avenger teams and war defense. So you're going to get some use out of these Young Avengers on Blitz, because of how they, just because they're going to have great synergy here. But again, a lot of war defense bonuses here. There's filling speed bar here for each Young Avenger ally on her ultimate. Can't be countered, applies heal block for 2 turns on the ultimate. But then you get down to her passive, and it's all about Young Avengers. So you gotta plug her into a Young Avengers team to make her work properly. So again, no standalone power here, but if you were using this, like, now this is war defense. So this is gonna be a very powerful kit for a Young Avengers team if you want to use them somewhere in like Blitz. And we do have, I believe in the Gamma Rays, there is a lane or two that involves using Avengers, and Young Avengers do get the Avengers tag. So if you go and look at that, all of your Avengers, so like your Secret Avengers, your Young Avengers, all of them get the Avenger tag. So I'm pretty sure there is an Avenger lane somewhere in the Gamma Ray. This could be helpful, where now you can use Young Avengers there, but I believe you also had Spider-Verse with that same lane. So you're already using Web Warriors or Symbiotes there. So are you really going to gear up this team at the same time? But also, it's a little unfortunate. 2 of these characters are bio. We just dropped a ton of gear on Web Warriors. America Chavez is Mystic, and then Kate Bishop is Tech, and Echo is Skill. So, you know, it's a little bit diverse in their gear, which is not bad at all. But it's going to be rough pushing the gear up on these 2 characters. I think America Chavez, if you're looking for a strong war defense character, America Chavez is going to be your best bet, because just on that passive with the boosting of speed bar, she's a great option there. Bishop may work at lower tech difficulties in the Doom Raid. And when we get to Echo, we got to talk about Echo, because Echo has problems. And so this was shared for the envoys. This is not under embargo. They threw it in our regular envoy folder, so we're allowed to share it. But yeah, you can see right here, 113 speed on Kate Bishop. That's a little bit slow. But if you thought that was slow, oh, you are gonna hate the speed on Echo. And I legit like burst out laughing when I saw the speed on Echo. You're gonna see why. So Echo has some great potential in her kit. Very, very high damage. It looks like she's going to be top 5 in terms of damage. Do I have that right? That seems a little low. That may actually be even better. Yeah, okay, so yeah, it's even better than I thought. Tier 16, level 85. Do I have the Stark Tech set? Yeah, okay. That seems okay. I'm going to need to get some clarification on that, because according to this, Yeah, tier 16, 4 red, 7 yellow, 48,000 damage. Striker level 5. Oh, wait, it's not in order. It didn't go back in order. There we go. I was like, there's no way. It can't be. Okay, yeah, so she's sitting at number 3 behind T'Challa and Phyla-Vell in terms of damage at that point. So she is top 5 in terms of damage, which is great. Like, she's going to hurt. That passive with her, whenever someone attacks an ally, she's going to retaliate. It's gonna do a lot of damage. But look at that. So 98 speed. If you want to know how slow that is, let's just scroll down the list. 98 speed puts her sitting at, let me see. Yeah, okay. There we go. So it's 98 speed. You're on par with Scientist Supreme, Kree Oracle, Shield Assault, Thanos, Shield Trooper, Punisher, Crossbones, and Nick Fury. You're not talking very fast. Most of these characters get speed up or something in them to boost their speed bar. So you're going to have to put her next to America Chavez in order to make her go fast. But even then, at that point, her effective speed is only like 123 on that first turn. So she is incredibly slow. This does not look good for her. High damage, but also, let's see here. What's her health at? 457. So she's got a respectable amount of health. So she's going to take hits and she's going to retaliate quite a bit. But, you know, it's one of those things where, like, she's so slow. It's going to take forever for her to use her abilities. So you're relying really on her passive here, which means that you really need to pull high red stars on her to make her work. So if you get bad red star pulls on Echo, you're in trouble because she's not moving very often. You're not worried too much about what her kit does here. You're really worried about her passive here because when an enemy attacks a Young Avenger ally, attack that enemy for 250% damage. This has no real use outside of a Young Avengers team. So she's not a plug-and-play character. At that speed, there's no way you can really plug her in. She's just so slow. It's really unfortunate. If you can find ways of speeding her up, sure. But I don't see her being useful in these skill nodes that much at that kind of speed. We have Moondragon, we have Kestrel, Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi has close to the same amount of damage and is significantly faster at 120 speed, I believe. So he's much, much faster. He's going to move more often, and he gets speed bar boosts in his kit that allows him to, like, you know, move more often. But, I mean, this ultimate here with reducing speed bar by 25%, this is great, but at that kind of speed, you got to find ways to build up that ability energy. So you got to have her on the Young Avengers team with that passive with Kate Bishop to build the ability energy in. Don't get me wrong. Like, I need to say this. I'm not saying this team's going to be bad, but I am saying that unless you're going to build up the entire team, unless you're really invested in war, there's not a lot of good options for this team, and that's unfortunate. Now, we'll see what this Midnight Suns team does. If it is Midnight Suns, if it is Morbius, Brother Voodoo, and whoever else we get on this Midnight Suns team, it could be the same thing where they are heavily restricted to a Midnight Suns team being in war defense or war offense, whatever it's going to be. We'll see what they do. They could be even more situational than this team, but as a whole right now, I can't really recommend on gearing up a lot of these characters unless you absolutely want to have a dominant war defense team, or you just want to have another really good team for Blitz. At that point, I wouldn't really worry too much about this team right now. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you guys agree with this idea? Do you guys disagree? Do you think I'm way off the mark here? Let me know down below. But as always, if you guys have enjoyed this video and found it informative, make sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. I will see you guys next time.